And we are back.
We're back, bitches.
Oh, she did it again.
I told you.
The language.
We're back. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I was going to say boats, but that doesn't make sense.
Welcome to the To Be Better podcast. I'm Marco the Pizza Man. Today we're going to be eating garlic bread, and it's going to be amazing.
I'm having fun.
Actually, Marco the Pizza Man is here. I can take this off now because...
Please do.
Yes. I'm put it right here so that everybody can see it. If they can even see that in the shot, I don't know. Do we want to talk about the garlic bread first, or do we just not want to share that with the world? Because that was...
It's fantastic.
I kind of
feel
like
the best garlic bread I've ever
I should be a little selfish and just be like, we had really good garlic bread, and that's all you get.
Only we can, until they... Is that recipe in your book?
It's in the cookbook, so don't worry. It's a viral video on TikTok. So
well, until y'all get it. Oh, never mind.
It's cool that it's a viral video. Just know that we've actually tasted it with him making it, and you're going to cook it from the book. It's not going to be the same thing.
No, not at all.
It's not.
I don't wash my hands.
Yeah, I was wondering what that distinct flavor was.
Yes.
Cleanliness. So you are a TikTok creator that has like 370,000 followers?
Yeah, or 390,000. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You've jumped a lot than the last time I was at your page.
It's been fun. It's been awesome. It's been an experience, I'll tell you that much.
So tell us who you are and what you did and what you do now, because we had an interesting conversation before you said.
Yeah. So I was obviously a pizza guy. I owned 2 pizza shops back in Boston. I've done pizza since I was 16, so I've got almost 30 years under my belt of just making pizza. And it is not like a family tradition. I am Portuguese, so everybody thinks I'm Italian, but I'm not. I'm Portuguese, and nobody in my family is in the restaurant game. Thank God, because they wouldn't make it. But yeah, so I opened up a pizza shop when I was 22 on my own because I cannot work for anybody else because I just don't have it in me. I just don't have the patience or the crayons to explain it. So I loved it. So it was one of my favorite things to do. I just felt comfortable in the kitchen. It was like where I belonged. So from there on, I worked at mom and pop shops. And then I went into the corporate world where I worked for a major chain where I learned inventory and profit and margin lines and how to hire and sexual harassment. I learned all about those things really quick. And it gave me the backbone that I needed for me to go back into opening my own independent chain. And I did that. So I opened 2 restaurants. It was a success. I loved every minute of it. And that's where TikTok and Instagram and Facebook came in. I believe my first time I was actually noticed was on Facebook. I was doing Facebook Live and I had 10,000 people watching me live. I was like, what? That's crazy. I don't even have that many followers. How is that happening? And of course, that day, my restaurant burned down. So that day, I logged off and the restaurant just crumbled to the ground, to the frames, gone. And we were closed for 9 months. So I came back, rebranded, became Marco the Pizza Man. I was, my pizza shop at the time was called Panini Pizza Company. And rebranded, became Marco the Pizza Man on all my social media. And then we started doing TikTok full time. I was like, all right, let me try doing TikTok. I know, in the beginning when you start doing TikTok, you think it's for these 17-year-old kids dancing in the middle of school and stuff like that. But I was like, I'll give it a try. And as soon as I hit my 1,000 follower and I could go live, I just started streaming live at the restaurant all day. Literally set up the camera on the pizza line. On a Friday night, we were banging out 400 pizzas. We made it fun. We have our own playlist. We had 2,000 subscribers on Spotify for our playlist that we played during the rush.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's and then we had theme nights. We went crazy. We got to meet the staff, the behind the scenes. Everybody had their own nicknames and characters, and people were commenting. They knew how much ounces was in my dough ball. They knew what days we did this special. And I'm do you have a life? That's what I'm thinking, right?
Right.
And it's at one time we went live, we had 17,000 people live on TikTok watching.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's the comments are just, you can't even see the comments. They're just scrolling by. It was just insane. And then we had people starting to fly out from other states. I had a lady from Ohio bring her daughter and her whole family in just to meet me, Marco the Pizza Man from TikTok. I'm like, really? You want this guy? I am a lot shorter in person. I'm letting you know right now. So they come in and, they loved it. And from there on, it was just an out way of me of getting out my creativity. I always loved making videos and trying to make people laugh. Now it was I was bringing them into my world that I thought everybody knew. Like I thought, like for me, cutting a pizza is like basic, blindfolded. I could do it with my toe, for God's sakes, right? And when I cut a pizza,
I knew I tasted something funny in that.
that's the Parmesan. That's the famous Parmesan cheese. Yeah. But it was just like I cut a pizza and teaching people how to do things and the tricks and trades, you know, the things that we take for granted every day. And they were just like glued. And I was like, this is it. So then sold the pizza shops. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have a gorgeous wife. And we moved to Florida. I'm like, let's just retire. My wife's like, you're done. We need to see you. Like, it's over. Because it was just, even if I wasn't there, my brain was there. My phone was going off. TikTok, Instagram, social media, all the marketing. And, you know, we also blew up during COVID, which, you know, we took advantage of it. So we were already set up for it. So we started giving away, like, toilet paper with every order because there was a shortage. So we put our logo on toilet papers and we just started handing them out with every order. I go, this could go good or bad. Like people go, is this food this bad that we need this? I'm like, yeah.
Good marketing though, especially during that time frame. I have a couple of like business questions that I have to ask every business owner that comes through here.
Sure.
But I want to know how much. So for you said you opened your first pizzeria at 22.
Mm-hmm.
What did that cost you?
That cost me, I think it was $22,000 at the time.
Did you get a building that was already set up with everything?
Yeah, I bought an existing pizza shop that was a drug dealer front.
Okay.
I learned that the first week.
So yeah, ironically enough, I have bought tattoo studios and rebranded tattoo studios that were the exact same thing.
Yep.
And I learned that while we were remodeling the tattoo studio. Like we weren't even open yet. Day I bought the shop, kicked everyone out, closed it down. Next day we're in there remodeling the studio, and people were coming in trying to buy drugs. It was very, very strange.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. You're gonna talk about being awkward. Stop it.
Yeah, right.
Don't you eat on camera.
I love it.
So what would it cost to not do it the way you did it? Like what? So for somebody, because we have people in our Discord that actually have talked about doing the pizza business thing.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a brick and mortar, whatever is that what they call it, brick and mortar, when you open it from a door, it's gonna probably cost you. You're gonna be between $90,000 and $170,000, depending on what you want to do. If you want a big dining room and stuff like that, then you're gonna be in the $250,000. So, for me. My last shop was pickup and delivery only. It was, you came in the front counter and that's it. And it's simple. If you set the standard right away of what you want, you set the tone, it's your business.
Right.
And you stay consistent. You take care, you treat every customer not like another number, as a person, and you just put the best quality that you can put on, you're going to be golden. That's all you need.
To do it that way, that's the low end to do it? Like 80, 90 grand?
Yeah, 90,000, 100. I'd say 100,000, you're good. It depends on what kind of equipment you have, Like I invested it, my pizza oven alone was $40,000. Yeah, but it can make, and it was a Rotoflex, Big Red we called her. It was like a 10 by 10 box with 5 shelves inside that rotated. So I could make 22 pizzas at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was the greatest pizza oven I ever had in my life. And that was worth every penny because I could make it and someone on the other side could take it out. And on the front, it was like glass so people could watch their pizza being made while they're waiting. So it's a great, great oven if you're looking to do that. But I'd say about 100,000 and then like blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, and nightmares every night.
Yeah. So you said, I asked you before you sat down, like why you're not a business owner anymore or why you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that because it's the time, like you wanted to have free time. We constantly tell people that as an entrepreneur, you don't take time off. Like you get into business thinking, okay, I'm gonna get vacations. I'm gonna make this money. I'm gonna be able to lay on the beach, fucking drink Mai Tais and have all this fun. And the money is there and the money is nice, but the missing of the family, missing of graduations.
Oh my God.
And being there but not present on a lot of things fucks that whole mentality up, and people that aren't ready for it fail.
Correct.
So you got out before you failed, right? Obviously you sold your businesses.
That was highlight. It was the best part. I left when I was supposed to leave. Like
Yeah.
I told my wife, it's not going to get any better than this. It's going to be worse. With everything going on in the world and the economy and all, I'm like, this is going to be impossible to keep up with. I'm like, we are at the epitome of amazement. I'm like, we need to get out now, sell it while it's so valuable. And we did. We sold it, and the guy that owns it now pays me every month. So I'm like, okay, pay my mortgage.
Do you still own the name, or do you?
I sold the name, and I own Marco the Pizza Man, but he owns the Panini Pizza Company, the name of the restaurant, so he can keep that.
Why do you get paid every month?
Because he owes me money. He couldn't pay all.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure
No,
if that
it's
was
fine.
like you own the building and he owned the business,
no.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it. Though.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yeah, it was great. It's an experience. I loved it. And like you said, it's just 24/7. It's non-stop. And my wife, I never would have made it if I didn't have her. She was literally my rock. She knew if the phone rang and they're like, "We're getting killed. You got to come in." It wasn't even a thought. I was like, "I got to go in." And she was like, "No problem. I got the kids. Go ahead." And it was always like that. And I closed every holiday, which is not normal for a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like Memorial Day, 4th of July, everything. Father's Day, Mother's Day, closed. I didn't care. I was like, I'm shutting down because, again, my business, I'm setting the standard. Everyone here that works for me deserves that day off too. They're all moms. They're all dads. They all deserve that. And those days were the best days because the store was closed. No phone calls, no complaining, no inventory, no. And it was just like, it was the only time I could turn it off. That's it. And it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough.
So you complimented your wife and said how great she was and all of that. How much of a strain did that actually put on your marriage, though?
It put a lot on it. It's crazy because we went from, women, my wife gets into a routine in her life when I'm not there. So she sets her schedule up in her own head, take care of the kids, pick them up, do this, laundry, clean, whatever she's doing, going out with the girls, whatever she wants to do. And now I'm home all the time. So now it's like we came to Florida and it was like 24 hours. Marco, the pizza man's right next to me with lighting and filming a TikTok. And she's like, you need to go somewhere and get a job or something. 'Cause this isn't working out. So it was like the worst of both worlds. It was like she never saw me and now she sees me too much. So it's kind of like, now it's like, I'm like, I'll just open another shop. She's like, that is not happening. So, I have 2 daughters that are special needs. Both my daughters are autistic. So it's not just a typical, I have kids. It's my kids have therapies after school. They have speech, OT, all that stuff. And it's, my kids have meltdowns and all that, the stuff that comes with that title. So my wife was dealing with all of that. So the last person she took care of was herself. She put everybody first besides herself. So now I'm trying to focus on her. I want her to be go out. And I think she's still, after 2 years, has not understood, go. Go out. Go get your nails done. Go do something. Run away. You don't have to be here. I'm here with the kids, and it definitely strained our marriage, the first part of it. And the second part of it, it's we moved down here. It's weird because I tell people, just dream big. Dream whatever you think you want in your life. And when you get it, it's scary sometimes because you're like, wow, this really isn't everything I thought it was going to answer all the questions, all the problems. I make more money than I've ever made in my life now. I have all the freedom I have in my life. But why am I still not, me and my wife are still not where we were when we were dating,
Right.
So, and I see you guys all the time and it's it's gross how in love you are. So it's what I mean? It's I tell my wife she's not allowed to watch the podcast because I'm you can't see that because that's that's smushy face love, and it's great to see. It's inspiring. It's beautiful. It's awesome. So
You should have her watch the podcast. Maybe you'll get it back.
Maybe.
Maybe you should find the episode with self-care.
Okay.
I don't know which episode that is, but we've talked about it at length. So whoever edits this, when you're finding that episode and link it in the description so that he can send it to his wife. That self-care is important, dude. If she's not doing that self-care, it could be the exact reason that you guys aren't back to where you were when you were dating.
Exactly.
So with the TikTok thing being at home, I jump topics like you wouldn't fucking believe. So
I love ADD. I love it.
Love it too. Great. Except for when I don't.
Sleeping is when I hate ADD.
Yeah. So with the TikTok thing being full time, because we're all TikTok creators. You have an actual setup to do TikTok, not podcasts. So how long does it take? How much time in a day do you dedicate to TikTok?
So I've learned that when you are a content creator, it's not the same as owning a restaurant. It's not hey, okay, the store's open from 11 to 9. This is what we're doing. I had to create a schedule. I had to literally give myself structure because that's how I work. That's how my brain works. You talk about ADD. I was successful in the restaurant because of ADD. I could make pizzas, listen to the phone ringing if a customer was complaining, know what the dishwasher's doing and what delivery's going out. I could do that all at once without thinking.
It's a superpower.
It's a very superpower. Except when my wife's talking to me, it's the worst disability in the world because I'm like, huh? Yeah, or I have to fidget with
She
something.
needs subtitles.
Exactly.
You'll be golden.
Just something.
Get her an LED screen that transcribes while she's talking.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm I'm not even hearing anything she says. I'm just I got to fiddle with a pencil or something while you're talking so I can pay attention. But yeah, it's just so I dedicate like on Mondays I start writing down all the recipes that I want to do for the week. Tuesdays I'll go grocery shopping for everything, and then Wednesday I'll just start writing out. I like to write out my filming, like not exact word for word, but I like to write out. All right, I got to shoot, the meat in the bowl, and add the ingredients, like mix it with your hand if I'm making meatballs.
Shot list.
Exactly. So, and not to mention, it helps at the end when you're editing.
Yeah.
Because it's like bing, 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 done. And then I just go off the cuff. So, which gets me in trouble a lot. So, because I have a mouth. It's awful. So
I actually find it really entertaining.
Yeah.
So there's that.
yeah.
So you post.
Well, thank you.
Do you post? You post every day?
I post once a day. Yes, I do. Yeah, I post on all the social media every day. I try to do it every day.
Okay. So with that, how much time do you think on average goes into a video? And what do you try to shoot for in terms of time? Obviously, it's under 10 minutes, but like.
Oh, for like the actual finished product?
Yeah.
I like to, I feel like that 1.5 minute mark is as far as I can. 2 minutes is, unless it's a really good recipe, like the garlic bread that you're eating, I'll give it the 2 minutes. I'll give it the time that it needs, because if I love the food, I think people are going to like it. But I find it like that 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes is the sweet spot for when it comes to cooking, because people are lazy, and it's the truth. Like, I try to make simple recipes that are delicious, not crazy cost money, because it's tough right now. And it's just like, I tell people all the time, that's why the book's called Cooking and Cussing. If you're not cussing while you're describing what you're eating, it's not good. It's awful. Just put it in the barrel. It's not worth it. So, and I'm a true believer in it. So I waste filming. I'm probably do about an hour each shot each video that I make, but with editing and all that stuff. But I like to keep it to a minute and a half.
Okay, so it's an hour of recording.
Yep.
Cut down to we'll call it 2 minutes at most.
Mm-hmm.
You got your shot list that you've got to create, your ingredient list that you've got to create.
Yep.
So how much time would you estimate total
For
goes
one
into
video?
1 2 minute video?
1 2 minute video, probably a total of, I'm going to say 2 hours, 2-3 hours, with
Okay.
editing and reshoots constantly, because of I just go with the flow. What's coming out of my mouth, like terms come out, like marriage muscle and your mother's breath and your sister's ass, all that stuff just flies out, and I'm like, oh, I got to do that again, but like this time don't have a lazy eye when you say it, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid things like that. It's awful, like get your gut off the counter, like, move back a little bit,
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's like you're your worst critic. And after you hear yourself say something 52 times, especially when you're editing, you're like, is this even funny anymore?
Right.
Like, and if my wife laughs, it's a pretty good approval. If my wife gets angry, I still take it as a pretty good approval, because she's always worried about being embarrassed. So, me, I say whatever the hell I want. I really don't care what anybody thinks. So.
That sounds about right for time frames. Did you factor in like grocery shopping and all of that too?
Yeah, Publix, I'm like a household name now. Like, everybody sees me. They see I'm Marco the Pizza Man. They know who I am. They all follow me. It's pretty funny. They and all the registered people ask me like, "What are you making this week?" Because they see my groceries going down. So yeah, it's just I enjoy Publix is awesome. I love Publix. I think I'm from Massachusetts. There is no Publix in Massachusetts. Well, there's Whole Foods, but I don't belong in there.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable in there.
I asked you that time frame because people don't realize how much time goes into content creation. For us to do a 2-hour episode, it's a minimum of 15 hours worth of content.
I'm sure.
Or
Editing.
all of it, right? From the email screening to the finished product, all the way through, it's about 15 hours.
Oh yeah.
And the TikTok aspect for us, because we do full-length content and then clip for TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, whereas you're making strictly for TikTok and not YouTube or for a podcast, which you should be doing.
Coming soon.
Yeah. It's crazy to see that time frame. So the people who are like, I want to be content creators, that are actually creating something versus just talking to their phone, because there are people who make good money on TikTok just making comical videos.
Yep.
But to do what you're doing, where you're actually creating a artistic piece of video footage
It's
to
not easy.
showcase something, right?
It's not easy. Being a full-time creator is a lot of work.
Is it worth it?
To
Are
me-
you emotionally fulfilled doing what you're doing? Because you've got money coming in.
Yeah,
from the
money's
business.
money's not the problem. So I have the money now so that I can be creative.
Right.
So it takes that pressure off of not being afraid to fail and just going past the boundaries, right? So to me, it's completely worth it, because it's my itch. That's my wife loves to paint. That's her thing. Me, people always said you should do stand-up. You should be a comedian. I don't want to be up there talking to people like that. I can be in front of a camera and talk to people, no problem. But it's just it's just that thing that creativity that I want to put out. Like, I just want to be me. I want to say what I want to say. I don't care if you're offended, because trust me, I know Facebook, they tell me, as I call them, my kitchen Karens, they come in and they just come in and chime in and, you shouldn't use profanity. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking shouldn't. You're right. I literally type out the swear and then I tell them. But it's just like, it's who I am. I'm not going to change who I am because of you and your feelings. You can continue scrolling. That's what makes TikTok and all those social medias fun.
That I think it's cool that you're able to get an emotional itch scratched by doing content creation, because a lot of people they get so serious about it.
Yep.
And it's not that serious. I mean, most TikTok is for entertainment purposes.
Correct.
And unless you're doing like political commentary, which Conservative Ant does comedic political commentary, you can make that shit funny. It doesn't have to be serious.
Exactly.
But it should be a fun thing to do. And when it's no longer fun, it gets very hard to do it. It's I have a giant picture back there of a monkey. Did you see that one?
Sorry, yeah, with the money.
That's my perform monkey, because when I don't want to do this, that's me chained to a wall, pandering to like fucking keep this going. And it's a reminder. The fucking monkey's so sad when I look at it. It's depressing. You know?
It is, yeah. And people can see it. When you're faking it and you're like, I just got to put a video out, like that feeling, which happens a lot, they can see it. You can tell by your likes and your views and no matter how good, well, for me personally, no matter how good the food is and how good and how funny you are, they can see the authenticity come out. They can feel it. It's crazy. And you were talking about all those hours of editing and making content and all that stuff. Don't forget, like, when we go on vacation, we got to make double the content, because I ain't gonna be filming anything when I'm at Disney World, eating, dogs and, pretzels and all that stuff. I'm not gonna be like, hey, Margo the Pizza Man here, check out this pretzel that I didn't make. It's not gonna happen,
And then you get to come home and play catch up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Dumbo, like liking comments and commenting back,
We went to Vegas and we're gone for 7 days.
7 days.
Something like that. And we preloaded content to get us through Vegas, and had like 3 episodes from when we got back. And because we only had 3 episodes and we had like 22 before we went, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So then we went really hard on content, and we're far enough ahead now that we're going on vacation again in 2 weeks.
Awesome. That's great.
It's actually next week.
Is it? Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Maybe we don't have enough content.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. So next week's going to be a lot of recording before we go. We took the week off. We went and bought a bunch of e-dirt bikes.
Oh, there you go, man.
And
That's awesome.
She's covered in bruises.
I am, yeah. My shoulder's still not right.
Just remember, just enjoy it. Your true fans will always be there.
So anyways, you don't realize how different the boys and girls are when you're growing up. And like for me, mountain biking and BMXing, skateboarding, all that shit, I got hurt all the time. It was just normal behavior. And we were out riding one day, and there was a small little stump thing going down into the sand. I'm like, just take it like you're riding down the stairs. And she's like, I've never ridden down the fucking stairs. I'm like, what do you mean you've never ridden downstairs on a bicycle?
Yeah, it's a different world.
It really is.
Then I hit some sugar sand.
Yeah. Hit it twice. She's eaten shit a couple times riding those things.
Yeah.
She's fearless though. She gets right back up. She cusses a little bit and just gets back on the bike.
That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters.
I get
Getting
to
right
see a
back
lot
up.
of deer.
Yeah.
So I think that makes up for the falling.
Living your Disney princess life, trying to get out there and
I need to get some corn from.
befriend the animals.
Someone told me to bring candy corn for those deer. They're out of their damn mind.
Cracked corn. Well, actually,
No, they said candy corn.
I know, but it's cracked.
I think we're just trying to get rid of candy corn. I think that's what they're saying. Anyway,
what you need to do is ride with your bow and arrow on you.
Yeah.
And befriend them and get close enough so you can't miss, and we can stock that freezer full of venison.
Yeah.
Can I legally do that?
No.
Oh.
But
Yeah, cut that too.
but
I'll go hunting for us.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Make sure you watch Bambi before you go.
You need to come with me though, because I'm not dragging. I have nails.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
I'll
to-
throw that thing over my shoulders and ride it home like a fur fucking coat. I don't give a shit.
You are literally all my friends. Like I'm like I'm not getting my hands dirty. I'll kill it. And I'm the cook. I'm like, clean it up. I'll cook it after. Don't worry
Well,
about it.
that's the whole. This is the beauty of butchers.
Yeah, exactly.
have to
Why do
do
I
that
have
shit.
to do that? No.
That's funny. So you got here 2 months before Hurricane Ian.
Correct. Got here 2 months before Ian. Oh yeah.
How did that plan out? Because we've talked about Ian a lot. So from your perspective, how was Hurricane Ian?
Well, Hurricane Ian, like, You wanna question being a man, okay? Like you want to have my ass muscles have never been so much stronger in my life because of the puckering up I was doing during that. I had
And I bet it was nonstop.
9.5 hours of constant 115 mile an hour winds. My wife going crazy. I had my sister-in-law visiting. She literally flew in the day before Ian. So I'm like, oh, welcome to Florida. Isn't this beautiful? And then no power. No. Luckily she was there. It was literally like the scene from Airplane. My wife was going so crazy that my sister-in-law was like just bitch slapping her right across. Get a hold of yourself. The children need us. And I'm just like, we're fine. I'm like, we're fine. You know, I have a 2-story house. So it's like even scarier. So we had like, you put up the shutters and like everyone's looking at each other. I'm like, okay, this is my first hurricane, man. I don't know what to do. Like, do I put the shutters up? And like 90% of the neighborhood's like, you need a 6-pack. That's what you need. Don't worry about the shutters. It's going to be easy. We're going to have a hurricane party outside. I'm like,
That's usually how it goes.
That is usually how it goes.
It's usually how it goes.
Hurricane Ian was a 100-year storm. We have in my life, I've been in Florida since 1980. I've never seen a storm like that.
Yeah, my wife was like, I don't think we're supposed to live here. I think this is a sign from God that we're not supposed to be. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. I go, we have to go through hell to get to the good part of anything in life.
Yeah.
So that happened. It was, my kids didn't even know what was going on. Thank God. They didn't understand it. We just had candles. And we had a generator. I had everything ready for it. I was ready for it. But it got nervous for a little because we had water actually come in from the AC vents. And like we have, like I said, the second story, like the whole rug was just like 4 inches of water. We just bought this house. It was brand new. So that kind of like got in your mind. And then one of the shutters ripped off my daughter's window. And it like almost pulled the window out. That's where it was. Like the wind was coming from the back of the house. And we had to like replace that whole wall. She didn't have a bedroom for like 4 months. It was like, yeah. So that part, I think the aftermath of it was worse for me personally as a dad. Because my kid is, like we talked about, like she's all about routines. She needs to have her comfort zone, her structure where she needs to go every day. Not all the time the same thing over and over again, but like just some structure, familiar shit. And like, you know what I mean? Right? So it's got, and we just moved to a new state and we don't know anyone. So it's like, we're already throwing curveballs at her. Now it's like, oh, this was your bedroom? Like you don't have this anymore. Now you have a mattress on the floor in the playroom. And it's like, so that was the hard part for me, for Ian. Everything else, I have insurance. We had money. I don't care. Like I can fix everything. We went to Disney 2 days after hurricane hit because I'm like, we have no power, we have no water. I was taking buckets of water from my neighbor's pool to flush toilets. I was like, we're fine. I need a shower. That's all I cared about. I'm like, so we went to Disney instead.
You know that you got pretty lucky that that room didn't destroy your entire house. Once that the outside pressure is no longer there for a home, they normally get destroyed. Roofs come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
A lot of people told me.
We didn't even put hurricane shutters up.
Yeah, you are nuts.
So we ended up going to the other coast for the storm because the fucking guy on the weather channel was like, there's going to be an 18-foot storm surge and you might be able to survive that, but your kids will die. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't believe they just said that on the news.
Kids will die.
Yeah, he actually said it. It was like, there's clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I can't believe dude put it out there. Wow. It's so harsh, but it's 11 o'clock at night and like, we look
the
over
night before the storm hits.
3 and 4 year old kids and we're like, this is not a good place to be right now. So we left, but we didn't do any hurricane prep at all.
No.
So
I probably would have left next time if it happened again. I would have left. Yeah, but
I won't.
Yeah, I'm happy I was there because I was like, we had leaks everywhere, so like I had like 12 buckets going at a time. So I didn't sleep at night. I just stayed up the whole night. So and we didn't have phone, which was scary for our family. They couldn't get in contact with us. So like we found a way to like get on the second floor. You had to stand on 1 foot and put your phone to the corner of the ceiling, and we got a bar and we just send out texts. We're alive. It's okay. Boom. And then like TikTok was like, people were like, are you dead? Is it over? I'm like, yes, it's over. Send money to this GoFundMe. So no, but we made it. It's something I check off, right? I conquered it.
So you're definitely leaving next time.
Yes, I'm definitely. I'm leaving anyway. So, but yeah, I will not be dealing with that anymore.
Did you have PTSD when this last hurricane?
I put the shutters up. I was ready. I was like, but we were, I had groceries. I was ready to rock. We weren't leaving this time. I was like, but yeah, we definitely had PTSD. Definitely had that horrific feeling. My wife was like already shaking the day before.
Dude goes through one hurricane and becomes a Florida man. Put up the storm. We're not leaving.
No. Nope, we're staying. It's over. You want to go? You can go. I'm staying. I'm gonna sit out there like Lieutenant Dan. Like, this is all you have.
That's
You call
funny.
this a storm? With legs though.
I can tell it's hurricane season when that video of the dude with the mullet and the big American flag
Yeah,
out
yeah,
in
yeah.
the
yeah.
rain's
Yeah,
headbanging.
So
Yeah.
funny.
That starts circulating.
The Metallica.
I try to tell people all the time that Florida does have seasons. You know, contrary to popular belief, we do. It's hurricane season, tax season, and slow season.
Yeah.
And snowbird season.
Yep,
I
snowbird.
Yeah.
learned that because I drive to Sarasota every day.
Snowbird season is our money season, because without that, Florida would not have an economy.
There you go.
So as people are complaining about that, should just know that if you didn't have snowbirds, you wouldn't have a fucking job.
Exactly.
So why are you leaving Florida?
I'm leaving because of family. I have some. We have all our families over there. Number one. I also personally have some things that I want to conquer that I didn't get a chance to conquer when I was owning a restaurant. Like I had this cinder block always on my ankle. I never got to go to birthday parties. I never got to hang out with my friends. I never got to enjoy the holidays or throw a holiday party or do any of that stuff. So now I'm going back with freedom. I can do whatever I want. I can go to my best friend's kids' cheerleading competition if I want to. You know, I can do whatever. I can create memories. Not to mention my network. I know everybody. So it's kind of like maybe it's the next where I need to be for the next step of whatever you call this, social media or influencing. So we'll see what happens, you know?
That's the dark side of entrepreneurship. I mean, that was a very good way to put that. That's definitely going to be a clip, but that I have tried to explain that to people over and over and over again. And like we've talked about it in terms of relationships for women who are not stay-at-home moms. If you want to be the boss bitch that has the fucking career and the high-end job, you can't be a mom and that woman. Like you have to pick one.
Yep.
And as a man, you have to. Like if you're going to be the business owner, you got to pick between your family or your business. And then what? You miss out on all those things, and you're not the good dad. You're there, which is better than most, but you're not present, which means you're not really fucking there in the first place.
Exactly.
So it was very well put. I want people to understand that there is a sacrifice that has to be made for the longevity of your future.
Yes. Definitely has to be.
And you did it, and you got out in time.
Yep.
And now you get to actually do the shit with your kids. And like,
Yeah.
my kid is an adult. My biological's in her 20s. I have a grandbaby now.
Oh, wow.
But her kids, which are our kids, are 4 and 5 years old. So I get a new chance to do the dad thing.
That's
and
cool.
I'm financially stable. I am so much more patient. I don't get angry like I used to. I don't do drugs or drink. So this is my redemption.
That's
like
awesome.
the comeback parenting for me.
Yeah, that's great, man.
But
Congratulations.
I understand that I now get to do the things that I couldn't do before.
Yep.
Because even though I probably won't do a lot of that shit because I don't like people and don't want to go out of the fucking house unless I have to, the opportunity to do it is there. So
It's
at
there.
least I get to
It's
say no
your
because
choice.
I want to versus because I can't.
It's your choice, yeah. So, because my parents are off the boat, like they're old school. So my mom she worked full time, my dad worked full time, but my mom also was, you know, the cook, the cleaner, like old school, you know, right off the boat. Like I said, I'm a first generation American, and you get those things in your mind, like you're raised with that. Both my parents love each other. You can tell that they cared and they worked hard for everything. They sacrificed all the time in the world. Like I never really. My dad didn't like kick the soccer ball with me or any of that stuff. I didn't get those emotional connect. My dad didn't teach me how to shave, didn't tell me about the birds and the bees, didn't do any of that stuff. My dad was working, and my mother and my dad were like two ships just passing at night. Like my mom would go in at 9 p.m. at night. He'd be coming home by 5 p.m. So they get like that 3 hours together, and then she'd go to work overnight. And it was just, I was raised by my grandmother a lot of the time of my life. Like I stayed at her apartment sometimes Monday through Friday, and my parents would pick me up for the weekend. It was just, so you saw that work, that dedication, that sacrifice. And you also learned what you don't want
Right.
with your kids. Like, I don't want that.
Are your parents still together?
Yes. Still together, still going strong. Yeah.
So they obviously what they did worked.
Worked for them. Exactly. Wouldn't work for me. I took a lot of what, you know, I tell people, people always ask me, like, when you become a parent for the first time or when you become an entrepreneur, like, what do you take from it? Like so it's for a parent, it's like you take the good things that you learned from your parents and you embrace it and you continue that tradition and you go forward. And then you take the things that you hated and you change it and you're the new generation. You're the new part of the tree that can change that and bring the good stuff out. And the same thing with entrepreneur. Go in, do your passion. Remember those amazing bosses you had, one or two of them. Do what they did. And then the bosses that you hated and how they made you feel, do the opposite and you'll be successful.
Yep.
So
That was a good way to put all of that.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot. I would like to eat some of that garlic bread.
Go ahead.
So should I hold the hat over my face like this while I eat?
That's right. You
I
can hold
have a
this book in front of your
paper
face.
Yeah. Hold the book in front of my face.
Yes. I usually get the book to the face, but enjoy. You guys are lucky you can't smell these people's breath, I'll tell you right now. There will be no vampire attacks today.
Is this something that you sold in your stores?
No.
Pizza stores?
No,
I paid $20 for that garlic bread.
My
It's so
wife
good.
says that she doesn't. We usually serve like some dipping marinara on it, but like she's like it doesn't even need it. And we made pasta one day with it, and she was just like, "We don't need the pasta. I'll just eat this." And I'm like, "Okay,
That could be a dinner for me.
yep, yeah."
It's
People love it.
fantastic.
Yeah, people love that. It's so simple. It's got mayonnaise on it, so freak out now.
We would get so fat.
I hate that things that taste so good are so bad for the body.
Just got to figure out how to get rid of it.
That'd be my one cheat meal a week. It's going to be my one cheat meal a week.
Wow, that's I think that's high praise.
I love bread,
Who-
and this has cheese and mayo on it. Stop.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Crazy good.
With talking to all of these food guys, we had you, and then we had Sam Alvey and his wife McKay. They have a food truck.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of getting inspired to do my own food thing. Mama Peaches is already in my mind,
Ooh, Mama Peaches.
right?
I like it. I like it. What's going to be like? You have a idea of which way you want to go, like food wise?
I like doing like Southern comfort food.
Okay.
First thing that comes to my mind is gravy and biscuits.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted. I was supposed to open Wicked Comfort was going to be the name because in Massachusetts we say Wicked all the time and we don't pronounce Oz and all that shit. So it was going to be Wicked Comfort and it was just going to be grilled cheese, mac and cheese, and lasagna, like individual ones, and then obviously warm chocolate chip cookies and milk for dessert. So it's just like all comfort. It was just whatever you wanted.
That sounds fantastic.
So yeah, you can take that. Enjoy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna actually try to do the pizza, food, anything, I'm not gonna bother trying to get in shape
Why?
because you're gonna be making food, and I like your cooking.
That's counterintuitive to what we're doing now.
Put on 40 pounds in a year because of her biscuits and gravy.
I'm trying to
It's
find a
actually
complaint here.
It's not. she didn't make it that much, but she does cook it, and her mashed potatoes are fucking phenomenal. The problem is I don't like to work out like I used to because I hurt myself, and
Okay.
my doctor's like, "Hey, bro, you're in your 40s. It's time to stop." I'm like, "I don't want to stop," and he's like, "Well, then you're gonna rip your other titty off." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Titty ripping.
Yeah. The pectoral muscle.
Mm.
He tore it from his humerus.
Yeah, detached it from my bone.
That explains why this is not funny at all, this podcast.
Yep, it happens. Yeah, Sam Alvey does have a pizza truck, and it's called was it Food Fight?
I think it's
the
Food Fight.
Food Fight truck
Yeah.
because he's a UFC fighter.
Oh.
And his wife McKee is a season 11 winner of America's Next Top Model. Very interesting couple, and they've
Wow.
only ever been with each other.
That's
Love
great.
it.
They've
That's
been together
fantastic.
since they were teenagers. Yeah,
Wow.
it's wild.
So their Yelp reviews must be extremely high.
I mean, I
Five
would.
star UFC guy. I wouldn't be like,
No.
this.
Yeah, your food sucks. Just kidding. Haha. Love you guys. He's on the podcast. He's like, I was trying to get my wife to get on TikTok. She'd be the hottest woman on there. I'm like, no, she wouldn't.
Please don't hit me.
Yeah, please don't hit me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
How hard is it for you to dedicate yourself to making some type of food video a day?
I think it gets tedious. I'd be lying if it didn't get tedious. It's the same
Yeah.
thing over and over again. Not to mention, like, I wish I made enough money where someone could come and just clean. That's the number one thing. I can't stand dishes. People always say like, "Oh, I'm coming over to eat." I'm like, "You come right over. You just know that you're in charge of dishes. I'll feed you all day. No problem. You're in charge of cleaning up, putting everything away and making sure the dishwasher's loaded right so that my wife doesn't yell at me. Like, just do it right." So that's the worst part of it. The
Yeah.
cleanup. I hate it. So
And do you create new recipes every time you make a new TikTok, or are you?
I do. Yes, I don't like to repeat. I try not to repeat unless I figure out a better version of it. Like if I did like a fettuccine Alfredo from the Olive Garden, a copycat. People wanted to, I love the Olive Garden. I'm like, fantastic. Good for you. Diarrhea.com. Anything you want, whatever you want. So I'm like, I'll make it for you. I showed them how to make it. And then I made mine. And I'm like, this is what fettuccine Alfredo is supposed to taste like. And then you get the authentic Italians that are just like, there's no this and that, and they say those things, and I'm like, but it's just good, man. Like you can, it should. I always tell, like, I describe sounds and smells because I'm very visual, very, like, I can, like, my smell is my memories in life. Like, I go to Yankee Candle and it's just like an orgasm of memories. It's just like, oh, I remember this happened when I was 5. So, like, when I smell fettuccine Alfredo and I hear the wetness, like, if it doesn't sound like good lovemaking when you're mixing it, it's like, it's not right. You need to continue moving forward.
Don't fucking look at me.
I am never going to say anything other than calling sex with us Alfredo.
Oh gosh, stop it.
As long as it's not your climax word, Alfredo.
We would have to have a conversation.
I'm going to do it at least once now.
Oh gosh.
That's hilarious. Fantastic. It's officially going to be a threesome that day because I'll be there. Technically.
I heard that. That sounds like Alfredo making. That's funny.
Oh man. I had a question. It's gone now. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing after that one. All I can hear is...
I know.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff, man. That's how babies are made.
Okay, so when you're making new recipes, I need at least an outline for when I'm cooking.
Okay.
Like, I can't make a roux from memory.
Okay.
I have to look at the recipe, and then from there, I can add in whatever spices I think will mix well, and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're creating whole new recipes, like, is that just something
Yeah.
you
So
look at things?
yeah, usually it's like I taste something.
Mm-hmm.
Like now that TikTok is growing, like companies are sending me stuff. So like people like mom and pops are making their own barbecue sauce, and they're like, oh, I'd really like you to try the seasoning. So, I take it, I put it on my palate, and I'm like, all right, what does this memory or what does this smell give me? So I think that's how I go about it. And also, I do look at other people's recipes. It'd be stupid for me not to. There's a reason why these people are on the Food Network. There's a reason why they're #1 selling cookbook. Like, you got to look at it. Like, just because you're looking at someone's recipe doesn't mean that it's not going to be yours at the end. You need a framework. Like, every house is built the same way. It is, but they don't look the same. But you still need to understand the fundamentals of that recipe and then be like, how would I tweak it? How would it make it me? Because everyone's got different taste buds. If I could make everybody happy, I'd be a multi-billionaire in the restaurant game. That's why you just got to zone in on what you think is really good and what your customer loves or the people around you. Because it's not about you. As long as you do it right, it's about the other person. So
Picasso said that good artists create their own work and great artists steal from others. So it's the same thing. You take the foundation and you build from it. That's also how you master things. You find what other people have done and then make it your own. The idea, who eats the food after you make it all? Because you said
my
you
neighbors,
lost 40
all my
pounds.
neighbors.
They love you.
All my neighbors. I text them at like 9:30 at night. I'm like, I just made kielbasa. You want some? Come on over. So, yeah.
You know that you have neighbors that used to go to bed at 8:30. They're now waiting at 9.
They're now waiting. They all wait. Yeah, it's so funny.
9:15. They're like, all right, fuck it. We're ordering a pizza.
It's true.
You know that there had to be murmurs amongst the neighbors, like, oh, you went to bed at 8 o'clock last night? You fucked up.
Yeah, you missed it.
It's happened where I've gone. I think my record is 6 houses I've gone down knocking. Like, oh, I have that, and no one answered. And I get to this, they're like, finally. I'm like, yeah, that's right. You're up.
Just waiting for their turn patiently.
It's funny.
Yeah. So
They must be all devastated that you're moving.
yeah, they are. They've already offered their room to come visit anytime. So
Yeah.
of course that means I have to cook. So
So when you, I'm going to touch on the barbecue sauce thing. You said you put it on your palate and taste it to see what kind of memories it brings back. You know that's creative brain thinking, right?
No.
Okay, it is. And it's why people who have a stuttering problem can sing, because it's a different part of the brain.
Oh wow,
It's art. It's not
interesting.
intellectual brain properties or brain processes. Do you listen to music when you do that, or do you just lock yourself in a room and taste shit? Like
I listen. Like, so this cookbook that's coming out actually has a QR code on every recipe from Spotify from a song that I listen to while I make it. It gives me that inspiration, that feeling of that. And lately it's been a lot of Post Malone. It's been a lot of like feeling, like, you know what I mean? Like love making, as you guys would say. So, that, because if you're in a bad mood and you're cooking, you're gonna taste it. You're gonna taste it. It's like if you got a song hitting you the right way, that garlic's gonna get cut right. Your fingers are gonna come back all in beautiful. It's just gonna come out good. Yeah, it's to me, it's a symphony. Everything's got to flow. It just goes. I got to be on my toes. I got to feel like I'm happy. I'm moving. I'm dancing. If I don't stop during cooking to like bust out a quick move, it's not gonna be a good food. It's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be a little twerking in there now and then.
It's crazy.
I am
to see
dressed
other-
though when I cook them.
Yeah,
Just like
whatever, man. If it tastes like that, I don't give a shit if you're dressed or
just
not.
don't show the video.
Yeah, just keep it above the belly. We're good. That way you don't get demonetized. It's crazy to see other people's creative processes because I'm an artist, but I can't draw or paint unless there's music playing.
That's awesome.
And I have to like switch the brain from logic brain because I'm an emotional brain thinker because I have borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
So I emotional brain everything, and I've had to train my brain to stay in logic mode because otherwise I have meltdowns and I'm
Makes
a
sense.
fucking 13-year-old crazy woman. But when I'm in a logic brain thinking, that doesn't happen. So I have to switch that off to create art or it doesn't work. So it's cool to me to hear you say that you're able to taste the food, go to a memory, and listen to music to get into that because it is the exact same process, minus I don't taste my art.
That's good.
Yeah.
Unless you
yeah.
use
There's
those-
enough
those
people
cool
out there
markers.
who eat crayons.
Yeah, they had those cool markers. What you used to have back in the day.
You can
Like
smell them.
cherry and blue raspberry. Everybody I'm like blue raspberry. Yeah, I'm like the licorice. Nah, man.
We always threw away the licorice.
Yeah,
Everybody throws away
So
licorice.
funny.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck eats that shit?
my mother-in-law. She's a
Gross.
the devil.
Gross.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't zoom in on my face on that one. I love her.
Gross.
She's a saint. Yeah, she's obsessed with that stuff.
I am a food eater and not a food creator. So this, if you have food questions, now would be a great time to ask him.
Oh gosh, I have too many. So
Well, we're gonna be cooking maybe, right? Together. So
not maybe, certainly.
Certainly, okay.
If it doesn't get lined up, I'm gonna be honest. I might blame you a little bit. I'm really sad about it.
Why am I getting blamed?
If it
your
doesn't
job
get
to
planned
get
or
blamed.
something, because I don't know, you plan all this stuff. You let me know where to show up and what time to be there.
Damn.
Enjoy that pressure.
You know that we have shirts that say "My husband's got me," and now I feel like it's false advertisement. Like I'm gonna let you down. Damn.
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
You said you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna blame me.
Yeah, if it falls through for some reason.
You've never been able to blame me for anything other than your happiness. Yeah.
That's a bumper sticker.
We actually have we have 1 month to get you over there.
Mhm.
You guys have to figure out what you're gonna cook though. So, and I
Shouldn't
have to
garlic
bring
bread.
extra cameras and lights. I don't know what he's got,
Yeah,
but
travel set.
I have the lapel mics. All that shit's ready to go. When we did an interview with Matrix Hormones in Tampa, and I had to buy all the travel shit to like go up there.
Mhm.
And you don't realize how much shit you need to bring to do an on-set recording until you get there and go, okay, what am I gonna forget?
Yep.
And that was the thing. We got to the car. I'm like, okay, wait, I need a power strip. Shit, I need gaffer's tape. Fuck, I need this. I need that. And like it was.
I used to do that when I was filming in the restaurant all the time because I had all my. You could carry so much, but you get there and you're like, oh my god, I forgot that. I forgot. It's just stupid, constant trips to
Yep.
the dollar store to figure something out. But that's at least one thing. Like I feel like every influencer that does this, like for a living, like making videos, we are like the MacGyver of figuring out all this shit. Even though
have
we might not know the technical term, like I am not. Like I am a person. I have every amazing tool that you can imagine in my garage. Like I have all name brand drills and all that. I couldn't tell you how to turn one on and do it, right? But in my restaurant, something broke, fixed in 5 minutes, instantly. It's just like when you're in your zone and you're in your area of like where you love and you have passion, you can fix anything. And it's just, setting up a microphone or setting a camera angle or I don't know. We did a special. Stranger Things was huge. It was, the new season came out. So we did Stranger Wings for the restaurant. And we had a mystery flavor where people had to taste it and guess. If they won, they got like a special gift. So I had to film videos of announcing the Stranger Wing coming out. So it was a horror film. It was all horror scenes. So I had to find ways to make this black liquid because I don't do green screen crap. I don't know any of that stuff. So I had to make this black stuff go across the ground, crawl up the pizza oven, land in the food to be the mystery wing. And it's like, you figure it out. You make it, long story short, you make it happen.
I need to know how you did that.
It was a lot of acrobatics, standing on ladders and letting go of like this black ooze gel stuff down the side of an oven and then like, putting it in reverse.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going up. So it's the opposite. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was watching him this morning, actually. I was watching my first TikToks. I was scrolling down. I was like, how long have I been doing this? And it's just like, when you're doing this for like 10, 15 minutes, you're like, I've been doing this way too long. And you're embarrassed because you're like, who's that guy? What an idiot. I don't want to listen to this guy.
That's funny. What are you going to cook with him?
I don't know. A 3-course meal.
Wow.
Wow.
That just became an entire day's episode.
Yeah.
You don't have like a something you've never cooked before that you would like to try?
Ratatouille.
Really?
That's difficult.
Is it?
That's difficult. Yeah.
Have you tried it?
No, that's why, because it's difficult.
No.
I'm sure I probably don't even eat it. I don't even know what's in it totally. So it sounds like vegetables.
That's
to
a
me.
lot of vegetables.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Just
eat that
threw
either.
up twice. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Vegetables are not a thing. I mean, they are when they're like.
That's why I told you, get the fettuccine, get the garlic bread, get
Fettuccine.
Yeah. I think simple will be great. You love to cook, right?
I do.
Are you like, do you feel extremely comfortable in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe we can go a little further.
He's uncomfortable when I handle my knives because I'm so comfortable with using them.
Have you
Lorena
seen,
Bobbitt,
have you
she's
seen our knives?
No.
We're scrolling Facebook one night and I'm like, check out this knife. And she's like, oh my God, I want that. And like, there's a set of them. The butcher knife is this fucking long and like that thick. And like, you could use it to baton a log.
Yeah.
And I bought her the entire set. And people were like, you should never buy your loved one a knife because you cut off your relation with them and it's bad luck and all this shit. And I'm like, the only thing that's going to get cut here is me if I try to fuck with her shit in the kitchen.
Exactly.
And like, I walk over there one day and she's got a pumpkin out and she's like, pow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go into the living room and let me know when you're done in here.
That's great.
Yep.
I love it. I always say when I make a video, I'm like, grab your OJ and get ready to cut. And if you still understand that reference, you're my kind of people. Not Google it. Or Lorena, or anytime I cut the tip off a cucumber.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt. Or Shalom. Shalom. One of the others. Those are the terms that I use when I do that
That's
stuff.
funny.
So.
Grab your knife and a glass of OJ. Damn. I was in high school when that happened.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I remember I left for school that morning and they were going to give the verdict. And my mom was like, I'll text you 1 or 2. 1 for guilty, 2 for not guilty. So you
Nice.
can tell all your friends and you'll have all the information before everyone else.
That's great. We didn't have texting.
Yeah, well, we didn't have internet then either. So
Yeah. I was like, wow. I'll release 1 white dove if he's innocent.
yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Pager, not texting. It was a
Yeah.
beeper.
Beep, beep, beep. That's so
Could
funny.
do the old lantern method. There's only one in the window.
The old Paul Revere. That's so
1 if
funny.
by land, 2 if by sea.
Nice. I like it.
That's
The British are coming.
That's funny.
The verdict is coming.
So what'd you think of the tattoo shop?
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think you guys can definitely tell. You can tell that there's passion there. That's what you love. And I've never been in a facility so clean in my life, and the people are so nice. And I just love the layout. It's, you have your areas for when people want to do those, private areas where you don't want people to see. But like, I think it's cool that everybody's like, you can just feel every section is a different personality.
Yeah.
That's what you feel. It's like you walk in, you're like, that person's into that person's into this. Everyone has their own stitch or niche or whatever niche to their art, and it's cool. It's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I was very shocked when I saw your neck.
Yeah.
Again, because I said it before we recorded, but Jeff Graham normally does really large custom tattoos, and you got script.
Yeah, I got script, and I'm gonna get another script. Yep.
Yeah, you gonna have him do it too?
Yeah, he's doing. We're trying to figure out the date. So
That's funny.
yeah, he must like me for, I guess, to do that really quick. So
You want to plug your book?
sure. So this is Cookin and oh hi, hello. It happened only once today, so
I've hit mine twice.
that's okay. Good. It's your mic. You can hit it as much as you want. Good.
Correct.
Correct. So Cookin and Cussin is my first cookbook that I've made. It's got all my favorite recipes from TikTok or personal life experience. It's mostly just comfort food, simple food that anybody can make that you should be swearing while you're eating it because it should make you feel amazing. Like we talked about a little bit before on the podcast, there'll be like a playlist on here that you can listen to the music that I listen to. And then, there'll be some inside stories as well about my personal life, where these recipes came from. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's just a memory or a smell or something. It's all there, and it's the first one. So we've already been signed for book number 2. We're excited about that one too. So yeah, check it out because I'm sure you'll have the link where you can click and get it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's pretty cheap, $29.99. I think it's pretty cheap for a nice 50 plus recipe book,
And it's hardcover.
and it's hardcover. So like, this is a great gift for anyone that, is offended by swearing. Oh my God, you need to get them this book. They'll love it. They'll love it.
So with the book, you already got signed for a second one.
Mhm.
What's the second book called?
The second book is going to be called Dipshits and Love Handles. So because it's literally just going to be dips and things that you share or appetizers that you are going to get love handles from eating the food, but that's the best food. So
I love that title. Shit makes me laugh every time.
So.
I have another question too, and it left me because of the second book question.
While you're thinking about that, are you able to like taste something and sit down and dissect every ingredient
Yes,
that's in it?
I could do that.
Is that like an acquired thing? Like you had to sit down and train yourself
No,
to do that?
It just happens. It's awful. It's the worst. Like sometimes it's bad
Yeah.
because it's like, it's great that you can dissect if you want to recreate it, you can figure it out. But like my wife, she loves that. Like Christmas shopping time, like we go to the mall obviously, and Yankee Candle comes across. Like we play a game where she like gives me the scent, and she's like, "What is this? Tell me what this is, or tell me what does it represent." And I usually can nail it. Like an '80s memory will come back. I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's the smell of like Ninja Turtles, Vanilla Pie, Crustables that we used to sell." It's literally, I nail it every time. So it's fun.
Can you do it with can you do that with whiskey too?
Whiskey? No, probably not. Like I've never tried. How about that? I could, maybe. Never tried.
There are people who make big channels on TikTok and YouTube smelling whiskey to tell you flavors.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Wine sommeliers do that.
Yeah.
Now there's people who are doing it with whiskeys and
That's
bourbons,
interesting.
trying to get the notes.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
I want to do a taste test for this channel.
Of what?
I don't know, bunch of shit.
Of food?
Yeah.
Oh, to see if he can tell you what it is?
Oh, I mean, like I could do it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I wasn't
why
sure
not?
if you were gonna like blindfold test him. Like, is this Diet Coke or Pepsi? The Pepsi challenge.
I love it.
That's funny.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
I do, of course.
That's funny.
Yeah. Same thing with like on Home Improvement. Al could smell lumber. Could tell you which one it was.
You know that he not Al, but the other guy,
Tim Allen.
and Roseanne are getting ready to do a sitcom.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
They
that's gonna
announced
be
that it got
amazing.
signed for 7 episodes.
That's gonna be amazing. I
Yeah.
love Tim Allen.
I like both of them. She's crazy as shit,
nuts,
and
yeah.
like he's just outspoken and gives zero fucks.
Yep.
I love that.
He does it well too.
Yeah.
Like, he writes it well.
Yeah.
Roseanne sometimes a little too like the annoyant voice,
Yeah.
but like if you love her, you love her. But if you hate her, you got that target right there. Tim Allen is just like that everyday dude, but he just finds a way. Like Last Man Standing was amazing. Like I thought that show was like written perfectly to piss off the right people.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there.
What I was gonna ask you was, when it comes to the music that you listen to, what is the strangest thing that you've cooked to?
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Do we have like any kind of like 80s flash dance type shit? Do you remember Do you remember the Blockbuster commercial with the 2 rodents, where he's playing Maniac and he's like, "Let's see their rentals do this," and he starts shaking his ass to Maniac?
I think I would if I saw her. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. No, I do have some '80s music. I have Tears for Fears is in there on one of the songs. I have the Golden Girls theme song, if that helps.
Yeah?
That's the craziest. Yeah, because I make a Golden Girl cheesecake cookie, which is phenomenal.
And you listen to Golden Girls while doing
I am obsessed with the Golden Girls. I know every trivia to them.
Yeah?
That I was raised on All in the Family, Golden Girls, the Carol Burnett Show. Those are the things I was raised with. So
All in the Family was Archie Bunker, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my-
man.
yeah,
Could
it's
you
just-
imagine if somebody tried to create
I wish
that
they
now?
would.
That and
Please.
Married with Children would get canceled.
We
Fucking
need it
instantly.
We actually need it.
Yeah.
So the Jeffersons, all that stuff.
Oh, Jefferson's was good too.
Yeah. Benny Hill. Oh my God. All day I could be here talking about that. So
Is that where you think you get your comedic
I think so.
side from?
I think I was born in 1980. So I'm 43. Yes, I'm that old. I was raised in the decade where we made fun of each other.
Constantly.
Our differences were not our disabilities. They were what made us special. And we laughed about it. We pointed out the things that whatever you want to call it, a stereotype or whatever you want to say, but like that's what made us different. But that's what made us connect as well. Like it was just funny to make fun of each other and understand what we're going through in our world. So it was cool. I loved it. It was the best. People always say, "Oh, would you want to be reborn? Be a kid again?" I'm like, no. I go, no. I could never be raised in this generation because I just don't think I have it in me, the patience in me to explain it to you, like how lucky you are, how easy life is right now for you, like with technology and all that, and you're just finding ways to cry about nothing. That's the truth. Uh-oh.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. That's what I'm worried about.
There's nothing to fucking say about that. I agree. I'm also born in 1980, so like we're the lost generation.
Yep.
You know, we were the free range kids.
Yeah, we had like the no technology, and then we grew up with technology starting, so we got like both worlds. So we're the true like adapters. We're the ones that had to learn how to pivot in life. We had to learn, you know, like I tell people all the time, like when I got into the corporate chain of a big pizza restaurant, I'm not gonna say their name, but when I got into that chain, you know, you're making so much dough that you have to buy the machines to make it, not humans to do it.
Right.
When the machine broke one day, they're like, shut the restaurant down. I'm like, what are you talking about? We could still make dough, man. There's an old school way of, you know, we used to do it by hand, you know, and they're like, what? I'm like, get that motherfucker spinning right now. I'm going to show you how to pound out dough by hand. And it's like, I feel like that literally summarizes the 80s. It's like we learned the old school way to do it and we adapted to the new way of doing it. But we still understood that the new way is not the safe way. It's a good way to do it, but you got to know the old school way to do it so that when you get fucked or something breaks, you're ready to rock. You're ready. I can take over. There's no, oh my God, I'm going to cry. I need a cat to pet because I'm nervous. I'm going to throw. No, man. We just keep going, you know? So I think we're the last generation that can kill it. And we had the best cartoons.
We did have the best cartoons. You know that you can buy a lot of the 80s cartoons on Amazon Prime?
Really?
Yeah. Our 5-year-old is watching He-Man.
Oh.
Yeah. And not the remake He-Man where he's all
old
skinny and like
the one that we questioned. We're like, why are you wearing purple, bro? Like, why does your hair look like that? Like, why are you so muscular? Like, you know, like, why is you?
Yeah.
So your cat transforms just with a mask? Okay, he's got special powers.
Our son loves Battle Cat.
He does.
He's awesome. I had him.
Yep.
I actually had the action figures.
Yeah. So did
Mine was
all of them.
Thundercats was my show.
Yeah.
I was like obsessed. With
You can get those on Amazon Prime too.
the originals.
Yeah.
Smurfs. You know, Care Bears. What else was out there that was phenomenal? And just, DuckTales and, you know, Fraggle Rock. And
Oh my God, Fraggle Rock.
yeah, it was just like,
Did you ever watch that when you were a kid?
Sesame Street when they
I
actually
would
taught
have
you
to
stuff.
see it.
That was
When they
fucked
taught
up.
you stuff.
We were watching something. We put on something one night, and it was the HBO intros. And I was like, this isn't the right movie because the intro's not right. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, it's got to come in at an angle
That's
and
so
twist.
funny, man. That's
And like, there's got to be a
hilarious.
space scene behind it for this to be the right movie.
Because we were
And she's like-
VHS kids.
She's like, I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah.
And I found all the intros, and she's like, I remember that one, but I don't know those. And like, because you know, there's an age gap
That's
there.
so funny.
But I can hear all of it in my head when I'm talking about those things.
That's amazing. Like I know what movie's gonna play, like from 80s movies, like when like Gremlins is about to start or Goonies. I know, like, oh, the lion doesn't roar on that one.
Yeah.
And MGM, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Or like the lady holding the lantern,
Yeah.
she winks at you before True Lies. You know, it's like I know those. Like it's just comfort because
That's
we're
funny.
VHS kids. You know, like we grew up going to the video store every week, and your parents are like, just go and grab something or grab Nintendo games. You
Oh,
know,
man.
yeah, we're showing our age. It's awful, but
That was a lot of my weekends was the Blockbuster weekend. It
Yeah.
was the easiest way for my parents to not have to deal
exactly.
with me.
They didn't have to. That's
Go-
the other
go
thing. Our
play
parents didn't
Nintendo.
have to. My parents would die if they raised my kids. They would never make it.
Yeah.
They would. They were like, we were outside all. I was outside all day, nonstop, and I knew. We all say the street light. Like you had to be home. We didn't have cell phones. Nothing. We got on our bikes and we just rode and we just did whatever we wanted. Wiffle ball, baseball, hockey, any sport we played, and we were never home. Never home. Our parents wouldn't know if we were dead until 9 o'clock if our foot wasn't in the door.
Well, they would know they need to come looking for you at 9 o'clock. They
Exactly.
wouldn't know if you were dead until the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The guy with the van showed up with the candy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why the whole you need 24 hours to file a missing child report because
Yep.
that's because of us. We did that.
That's so funny.
That's our fault.
Yeah, that's awful. Exactly. That's so
What's your favorite 80s movie?
Ooh. So are we doing cartoon or like movie?
How about your favorite before 15 movie?
Okay, before 15 movie. So when I'm sick, I have movies that I watch. Like when I'm under the weather, I have to watch Bloodsport. I have to watch Crocodile Dundee Part 2. I have to watch.
The second one specifically?
Specifically,
Okay.
it's better than the first one. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport. I have to watch Steven Seagal's, the one when he breaks all the Jamaicans' arms. I can't remember.
Hard to Kill?
Hard to Kill, maybe. Maybe it's that one.
I think so.
So those, and then obviously Karate Kid is. I was raised like that was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater. Besides Cocktails and Dreams with Tom Cruise, which was another classic movie that I loved. But Karate Kid was like part 2 again. Going to Okinawa was like I memorized everything from that. I can sing the Okinawan song. I can do it all. Like, and then Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze.
You know that the second Karate Kid was actually filmed in Hawaii?
No, it wasn't. You just broke my heart. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was filmed in Hawaii.
Tomi Village. No, it's
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah. That's funny. She just watched Bloodsport for the first time like 2 months ago.
So
Yeah.
good.
And we've made it through all of the Karate Kids except for the one with Terry Silver, and the ones after
that's
that
3.
doesn't count. The one with the girl and the new one that came out, those don't count.
those
It's not
don't
the
count.
originals.
No.
But we didn't get to the Terry Silver one because they released the final season or the most recent season of Cobra Kai right as we were
Phenomenal.
getting caught up.
Phenomenal.
And so we got to binge watch Cobra Kai from the beginning as well after she watched the first and second. She's like, this is making so much
Oh
sense.
my God, my wife, we started watching Cobra Kai, and she was like, I'm like, you understand that, right? You got the subtle message there,
Yeah.
what just happened? She's like, no. I'm like, Mr. Miyagi did this and this. You don't understand. Like, and I'm like putting on my headband while we're talking. I'm like, you set up the ice. I'm gonna show you what he did. The hip was doing this. It was just crazy. I'm like, they did such a great job with that show.
Yeah.
And yeah, Terry Silver was a nut job.
I
in
think
part
they're
3.
going to do one more season. I think the final season's going to
I think it's enough.
Year.
I think it's cool that they showed Johnny. Johnny was always a cool character, but you had to hate him
Yeah.
in the originals, and because
Have you watched the YouTube videos of the fan theory where he was the one that was being bullied? It was before Cobra Kai came out. Like
I
there was
think
a
I
whole,
did.
whole deep dive about how he viewed Ralph Macchio as the bully, Daniel as the bully.
Yeah, I could picture that. I could see that.
Yeah, changes the
Now
whole
you look at when I watch Cobra Kai, I think Daniel's a dork. Like I don't like him anymore. He's not my hero anymore. Johnny is like the real world. Like I think Johnny is every real adult now. Like our 40s, like from the 80 kids. Like I'm like, oh, I get what Johnny was going through. Like, but when you were a kid and you were watching Karate Kid when it first came out, you're like, oh, he's the underdog, and like everyone's against him, and he found this little Chinese man. He's gonna help him, and it's like he has no dad. It's like, oh, but yeah, it was great. Yeah. Okinawan man, sorry, not Chinese.
Yeah.
There's or Hawaiian man, technically.
No, Pat Morito is a Japanese American. He was actually in an internment camp at one point.
Oh wow.
Yep, during World War II.
Yeah, I heard that he wasn't even supposed to have the role.
Yeah.
It was like it took him like 5 tries.
Really?
Yeah, they
Didn't
had
know
to do
that.
5 one-on-one scenes, and then finally, when they did Ralph Macchio and him together, they were like, yeah, this is it, because he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
He's not even,
What about you? What was your favorite movie from the age of 15 and under?
15 and under.
Yeah. While she thinks about that, you said your first movie in the movie theater was what?
My first movie I saw was Cocktails and Dream.
Mine was 5 Goes West.
Phenomenal. I read the book.
And they had you could still smoke in the theaters at that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they had the doll, like the red coat, and like everybody at every store. Like, I think it was like for me it was Leechmere and J.C. Penney or Filene's, like base whatever it was. Like every store you went to, somebody flipped the pants around so that the tail was like a dong sticking out. Great memory. I remember. I don't remember the smell, but I remember that.
For me, I would say it's What About Bob or Scrooge.
Oh, right about
I'm
Bob.
sailing.
More fish. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie. Phenomenal. I didn't get it until I was an adult, but it was great.
Bill fucking Murray.
Oh my God.
In
Legend.
Scrooge, when she hits him in the face with a toaster. That was every Christmas, me and my mom, that bitch hit me with a toaster. That out of nowhere, that was like our Christmas
That's so
phrase.
funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I didn't get any like Christmas traditions until I met my wife. My family was not really a big, they like go to bed or you get nothing. I'm Santa.
Yeah, it's because
I didn't get that
You're
memory.
an 80s baby. That's the way
Yeah,
it
I didn't
works.
have that memories. My wife was like, I remember we were dating and I went to her house for the first time. It was Christmas Eve and we are going to wake up for Christmas morning. And I'm like, we're really doing this? And she's like, you need to go to bed. And I'm like, I'm fucking 20 years old. I go to bed. I'm like, all right. And then they like close our door and my mother-in-law is out there with bells. Oh, Santa showed up. And I'm like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to flow with it. And we, pajamas. And then we did, cinnamon rolls in the morning. And you had to watch Scrooge, not that movie, but the original with Ebenezer, like the classic. And it's got, I think it was Atticus Finch was the #1 Christmas Carol for her. for my mother-in-law, black and white. Had to watch that on Christmas Eve. And then the morning cinnamon rolls, and we open gifts for 4 hours. It's just like we sit in a circle. Dad or my father-in-law or Mikey, whatever, he's Santa. He passes out the gifts. Mom, my mother-in-law, holds the trash bag, so we get to throw the paper. Like we have a game for the kids. We throw the ball as hard as we can to hit Mom in the head, so it lands in the bag. It's an inside fun, but she doesn't know. You don't just ignore that what I just said if you watch this. So we do that, and it's like we make tags. So we have like nicknames. Like it's not just to Mom, and it's like for my wife, I'll be like I'll write to Dirty Dancing from Karate Kid, like favorite movie. So like we know it's like there's something, so we have to think about it. So if we have like a new memory that we had that year, like we add that in. So it's great. I didn't know what traditions were until I met Christmas tradition, I should say, when I met my wife.
That was actually really nice to hear, dude, because it was the same thing. I'm not a big holiday person because of my childhood.
I have great memories, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't have like a tradition holiday. It was just the family got together and it was loud, and the kids would be like, go over there and play with your cousins and your whatever. And I don't have any brothers or sisters. I'm an only child, because why would you have more after this?
Yeah, you nail it once.
It's like Alfredo. That's amazing.
That was good. Way to really drive that joke in, bro. That was good. That was fucking good. I guess in case anybody's wondering, my favorite movie from before 15, I would have to say.
Oh, we don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, I figured. It's, nobody asked. So
Sweet 16,
whatever.
Sweet 13. What is it? 16 Candles.
Well, if I was going to go that route, it would have to be Breakfast Club.
Oh my
I
God.
knew it. I should.
I should
But
have.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say Terminator 2 because I wanted to be Edward Furlong as a kid.
Okay.
When his parents are pissed off and like telling him to clean his room, and he jumps on his dirt bike with the redheaded mullet kid, and they're holding the fucking boombox up, and Guns N' Roses is playing, and he jumps the fucking curbs as he rides off. I was like, that kid is so fucking cool,
thought
man.
of this.
I want to do that.
Terminator, another part 2.
Yeah.
For some reason, right?
Yeah, right. And the first one sucked.
Yes.
It was not a good movie. Every time we watch it, I'm like, okay, we just got to get through this one so you understand the storyline. It's really fucking bad. Terminator 2 is where it's at. I promise. Just get through part 1. We got like halfway through part 1. And I was like, you get the gist of it, right? And she's like, yep, like Terminator 2.
I agree. I like it.
But now every time I ride, if I have my headphones on, it's always Guns N' Roses, and I'm reliving that scene because
My wife made me come out to that
as a
song.
kid. Yeah.
At my wedding. I'm like, I'm not a fan. She's like, we're doing it. I'm like, all right, sure, no problem.
Did she really actually make?
We did. We walked out to
You Could Be
Welcome to the
Mine?
Jungle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some Guns N' Roses.
That's funny.
She's an Axl Rose fan.
Oh,
She loves him. So
before or after? Have you seen him recently?
no, I've the Botox and all that stuff. Yeah, I've seen some. It's not the same.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's not. The voice isn't there either.
No, it's all gone. It's all everything's
Yep.
trying too hard.
Got anything you want to add, Hotness Everdeen?
No. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of questions when we're actually cooking, but
That's great. I love that. That's fun. I'm excited about that.
I still started calling her Hotness Everdeen. Just I don't even know why that came about, but one of my friends just bought her a compound bow and brought it over to the house and like gave her like a nice pink jewel encrusted case.
it says peaches on it.
Oh,
And all I can think of is that one day I'm gonna say something wrong and I'm gonna end up with an arrow in my ass.
I feel like she.
Five darts
I feel like
is
she'd
too
be
much.
really. I feel like she'd be like really good at her aim and like would get it like between your legs.
Ooh.
Like that's a warning.
Just hear that.
She put your balls on an actual platform. Like it's sitting on the bow, like folding over the side. The arrow.
Dude.
That's a warning.
She's like, it's silent. No, it's not. Thum.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Anytime she's holding an apple, you're like,
Well, have you seen those videos where the guys are like, I trust my wife, and they
oh my
smack
god,
the bottle off their
So
head?
dumb. I would never do that.
I could do that with my leg kicking over your
Oh
head.
jeez.
Full confidence.
I feel like I'm gonna get kicked in the face, but I think we should try that for TikTok.
Okay.
Do I need? You can do it while I'm standing up. You think? Oh, I'm gonna get
The
kicked
whole
in
leg
head.
thing.
Yeah.
I might have to do it sitting
You've
down.
seen me stretching.
Oh, I know. I
at
folded you like a
Studio.
pretzel, but I'm not trying to get kicked in the face. Like,
Right.
Good content when you get kicked in the head. Kicked
I'll
in
have
the
to
head.
do a few practice shots.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should start with me sitting on the floor and just gradually raise it so that when it gets close to my head, we can stop.
Okay.
I'm kind of
Then
a bitch.
you
and
really
I
don't
wanna get
trust
kicked in
your
the face.
girl then.
No, I trust her.
Oh, well
I'm
then.
just a pussy and don't want to get kicked in the face.
You are what you eat. It's no big deal. Alfredo.